like we got to think about the influences that the anime has. Like we were talking about the cultural shift, changes in society values, global issues, and audience demographics have influenced anime's um, the thematic and narrative evolution. Contemporary anime reflects on more global perspective, incorporating diverse influences and addressing universal themes of identity, community, and existing challenges. Like you said, down a lot of current, like a lot of modern anime is down to earth. You can relate to the characters, and that's why you see how why it's become so popular because a lot it's an anime for everybody. There's
Yep.
something for everyone. Like you can find something to enjoy about anime. And think about the rise. I think another thing is the animation. The rise of digital animation and streaming platforms that have impacted anime's production and distribution, allowing for more visually ambitious projects and enabling global access to a wide range of titles. It was a topic that we've talked about before, but I think we need to revisit it a little bit, and we'll probably revisit it a few more times. But 90s versus 2000, 90s, no, 90s and 2000s anime versus the current anime. So basically, the 90s
Oh wow.
and then like 2000 to 2010 into the more current anime. Um, First, what's your favorite era of anime?
Between the 90s, 2000s, and the 210s.
Yeah.
Oof, that's a oh man, I feel bad. It has to be the 210s, man. Like I hate saying it, but God, it's so difficult, but it has to because the 210s has so much good anime. Like it just so I know we've talked about it a lot of times, but the 210s is really when anime became the culture.
hmm
It really was.
It
Like
just became the thing. Like it before, like if you were watching anime, people made fun of you, bro. Now it's like everyone watches it.
everybody.
Like
Like
everyone. Like you got Meg the Stallion watch anime. You know what I mean? Like everybody watches it. It
everybody
was
watches
like it used to
anime.
be like, now like all the popular kids didn't watch like you get made fun of, but now it's the popular thing to do.
It really is. And everyone wants to cosplay anime. Everyone wants to do anime trivia. Everyone wants to go to the Comic Cons. All these voice actors are doing these collaborations. It's it's really just really expounded so greatly. Like I don't know. Like I don't I like the direction it's going though. Like I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it.
Same. Dude, it's now I'm for me it might be a little nostalgia, but I love the '90s anime. It might be a nostalgia thing. And I'm definitely biased. I'm not even gonna lie. But '90s and 2000s, I definitely love the '90s and 2000s. But what I can say is, um, what the current anime has done is they've learned from the past and made the like amazing stories. Like the more of the '90s anime, it's kind of like episodic. Every episode is a different story. Whereas
Yeah.
the more current anime, it's like it's serialized. So it's like every episode connects to it. Like it's a story throughout the entire um anime. Like I said, like Cowboy Bebop. Every episode of Cowboy Bebop had a different. It was different.
Story.
It was about it's a different story every episode. Whereas you got something like Attack on Titan, where it's a continuous story throughout the different seasons. I think that's a big difference. But and I think that's what keeps people hooked. Like you can watch. You don't even have to watch Cowboy Bebop in order.
You don't. You just have to
Uh,
watch the begin. Well, there's like one. Well, actually, no. I guess you don't. There's two part two. There's like two episodes that have like a part two to it. but you really don't have to watch it in sequential order. I'll agree with you
Yeah.
on that. Also, with the 210s um, versus the 90s and the 2000s, in the
Hmm.
210s, you get all these different animes that are like 13 episodes long, 20, 25 episodes long, and then finish. You don't
Yep.
get these long filler arcs. You don't get these long seasons after season after season. You get all these
Yeah.
animes that get straight to the point, like Parasite the Maxim, Kill a Kill, Agame got killed, Dead Man Wonderland, which I wish that
Yeah.
would have kept going, but different animes that just they didn't go on for like season after season after season
Hmm.
after season. They just tell the story and
And
they
it's
move on.
over.
Yes,
Yep.
yes,
Yep. Now there's some that are still long, like Attack on Titan and My Hero, but it's still not as long as One Piece, Dragon Ball. Like, dude, if you combine Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, whatever the fuck they got going on now. It's so many episodes, bro. It's overwhelming. Like for me, it's not Dragon Ball isn't as bad because I've kept up with the story over time. But One Piece, bro, when if you once you stop when you stop keeping up with it, bro, it's so overwhelming to try to get back into One Piece. But like, yeah, like I was saying before, like the 90s and the early 2000s anime, even the structure of the shows were different. You know, like it was a more every episode contained its own like adventure. It was something different,
mm-hmm.
like Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Cowboy Bebop, and then like you started as anime started to progress, it started to get more where you got to keep up with it. Every episode is connected, kind of like we were talking about with the comic books, but it's a continuous story, and I think people are hooked on the continuous story. Um, different themes too. You got to think of the '90s; they kind of had like like a retro feeling to it. Um,
Yeah.
it's a different feeling. The animation was different. The themes were different. Character
I think
development was different.
I think of the '90s when you really look at it, you get to feel, you get to kind of like to see with like an outsider looking inside what it was like being a teenager living in Japan.
Hmm.
And as far as like nostalgia like that, and then when you get to the 2000s, it's more like you see like more fantasy stuff or like shonen stuff, fighting stuff,
Hmm.
character stuff like that. But then when you get to the 210s, it's more detective anime. It's more like anime that causes you to think and use like
Hmm.
your critical thought process to kind of like understand different plot devices, understand different metaphors and things like that. And just a lot of 210s anime is super deep. Like there's
Hmm.
some that I could tell you that's like really deep, and it just makes you think, and some of it will get you in your emotions.
Yep. And you can see like as we got farther in like each decade, because I think a lot of that started in like I think Death Note jump started a lot of that kind of anime too, making it popular.
Mm-hmm.
Because before everyone watched the battle anime, and I even wrote in my
Yep.
notes like
Yep.
the themes of '90s and early 2000s anime focused on external conflicts such as battles against evil forces or exploring fantastical worlds. That was every you can pretty much bet that most of your anime you're gonna find was something of that. And then now with the current anime is like you said, it's more complex stories. Is the detective. It's not all about fighting, and
Nope.
people can still enjoy. It's anime that we watch about cooking. Think about that. Like
Cooking,
cooking anime is
but
crazy.
they make it interesting. There, there,
Exactly.
there was an anime I watched about bodybuilding, but
Hmm.
this the what they talked about, it was real life like bodybuilding. It was like stuff. It was like a teaching tool, literally. It was like the
Hmm.
stuff that you watch in the anime, you could apply it in real life, and you would get results. And
Hmm.
things like as far as like talking about like playing different sports or maybe even learning how to use science, things like that. You can some of the stuff you learn in these anime, you could apply it in real life, and you could use it as real life teaching tools, things
Yep.
like that. It's just the way that anime has evolved throughout the decades. I can honestly say that we're gonna have it for a long time because of the way that it's grown and the way that it's developed, and it's not just something used for we're gonna watch fighting shows, we're gonna watch shows about some villain taking over the world. Like, no, there's actual devices, actual metaphors, actual things that can teach you about life and how to go through certain things, as far as like go through depression, or go through tough times, or go through maybe you've lost like a loved one, or you're going through some heartbreak. There's a lot of plot devices in anime that teach you to deal with those things.
Yeah, they got something for everybody, bro. They got something for
Yes.
everybody. And then like I said with the 90s, when I was talking about the structure of of the 90s and early 2000s, we also got like for the more current anime. I'll leave it read from my notes. I was taking notes last week. Modern anime, like I said, is more a continuous story. Like you got Attack on Titan and My Hero. It's a continuous narrative throughout. Like it's a cells. It follows the same plot point throughout the entire series, and it allows plot developments and world building and evolving character arcs. So it gets you immersed in the storytelling. You're invested in these characters. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then the themes are, well, like you said, more complex and nuanced themes. Like you said, psychological, which is my favorite. And then you got social commentary type animes like Parasite, the Maxim.
Yeah.
They also they like these type of things often challenge viewers to think critically about the narrative and its implications. It makes you think. Like you were saying, it has something for everybody. How to deal with different emotions, coping with different emotions. It's like it's not as like the 90s and early 2000s had these characters like they're like godly like characters with powers, but now more current animes kind of like obviously still got the superhero stuff, but it's more down to earth and these characters have real emotions. Like you take a character like Goku, he's and we love Goku over here, so there's no Goku slander over here, but he's kind of like your typical, you know I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna win type character. And then you got a character like Deku who's insecure, didn't have powers at first, and he's still trying to figure things out
But
as
he has
the
more
story goes
character
on.
development.
Yeah, the
And
character development. Yep.
it's another thing. I like watching. Like I guess it's closer to like the slice of life anime,
Oh, I
like
love the
with
slice.
characters that are just. It's kind of like just watching a story. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
no real conflict. There's no real like fighting or anything like that, or even like something like a mystery or thriller that they have to figure out. It's just them going through their daily lives and just basically living the story. Essentially, just living a story. I like watching anime like that because you get just to turn off your brain and just
Mm-hmm.
enjoy a show. You don't really have
It's
to.
relaxing.
Yeah, it's just you're just watching something like a day to day events, and there's some things that like you can relate to. Like you
Yep.
could some of the characters you could see yourself in. That's why I enjoy watching certain slice of lives like that. Or there's certain ones that they have like shorter episodes, and it's just like a comedy piece. Like they just have fun and they just do like crazy things. I like watching ones like that.
Yep. And for modern anime, as far as like I know I talked about the character development in like the 90s and early 2000 anime, but in a modern anime, like they how can I word this? I took notes, but I'm not trying to read this word for word. It's a strong emphasis placed on character growth and transformation, and
Yeah.
exploring characters' internal struggles, relationships, and personal journeys in detail. This shift has led to more relatable and dynamic, evolving characters, enhancing viewer engagement and emotional investment. That's modern anime. You touched on that perfectly. You can
Yeah.
relate. We can relate to these characters. Like and I think that's what got people hooked. Anime isn't just some cartoons; like they're real stories, and you can like real relatable characters depending on what you're watching. You don't have to watch like you say like battle anime and fighting anime. You can watch just a slice of life. Like I like rent a girlfriend. I like it's just something when I'm bored, I just kick back and turn it on, and it's funny, and it's just a dude trying to figure out love. Like you
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
that
See,
simple, bro. Like
something simple like that, or like to what is that? Food Wars. Like we were talking about cooking earlier. The
yep.
creator, the creator of that show, she's a food blogger, right? So she knows
That's
about food. So
crazy.
some of the recipes that are in the show, those are real life recipes. I've even seen like people on YouTube recreate those recipes and actually
I
enjoy them.
did. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they take real life and they put it in the shows. And that's
Hmm.
how you get something that you can relate to. That's how you get something you can enjoy. Like you were saying before, a lot of anime back in the day, it's hard to relate to the characters that can freaking swing these swords and jump off buildings and stuff. We can't do that stuff. Like,
Blowing up planets.
yeah, we can't do that stuff. But today's anime, we can kind of like watch them go through their trials and tribulation, watch them go through their struggles, and we see ourselves in them. That's how we enjoy those, those certain stories.
Hmm. Like in I took some like I took some decent notes, man, because I wrote all this stuff down last week. But like we got to think about the influences that the anime has. Like we were talking about the cultural shift, changes in society values, global issues, and audience demographics have influenced anime's um, the thematic and narrative evolution. Contemporary anime reflects on more global perspective, incorporating diverse influences and addressing universal themes of identity, community, and existing challenges. Like you said, down a lot of current, like a lot of modern anime is down to earth. You can relate to the characters, and that's why you see why it's become so popular because it's an anime for everybody. There's
Yep,
something for everyone. Like you can find something to enjoy by anime. And think about the rise. I think another thing is the animation. The rise of digital animation and streaming platforms that have impacted anime's production and distribution, allowing for more visually ambitious projects and enabling global access to a wide range of titles.
that's
Like
a good
global
point
reach. Yeah, global
because
reach.
think about back in the day. The only way that we were able to watch anime was on Toonami when we were kids, and then
Hmm.
slowly streaming came to the internet. So now we could watch it anytime. We could catch up. We could binge watch. We could suggest anime to other people. We don't have to rush home after school to watch it. We don't. We could catch up on the episodes on our time because life is crazy and we all have all kinds of different shifts and what have
Yep.
you. That's why like I think this time that we're in right now is like the best time to view anime.
Hmm. Yeah, bro. I'm on Crunchyroll. It's so many different ways to watch it. Like it's so many. Like you said back in the day, if you miss Dragon Ball Z at 5 o'clock, bro, it's over with, bro. You
So
ain't watching the episode this week, bro. You don't know what happened between Frieza and Goku. You don't know what happened. You missed it. Now all your friends talking about it the next day at school, and you mad as hell. You didn't watch it. So like, and think about it. Toonami was what 5 to 7 or 4 to 6 or something. It was like a 2 hour period, 2 to 3 hour period. So we didn't
so
get the chance to watch it like a lot.
Toonami went from being daily to being like weekly on a Saturday. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it got shortened up pretty fast. So if you miss Saturday's episode, boy,
It's over, bro.
yeah, you wait another week.
So I think that's why we've seen this shift because it's more accessible. And you got a variety of option to pick from, and you can find something that you like. If you just want to chill, bro, you got a slice of life anime. If you feel like watching some fights, you can go watch that. So it's something for everybody in all different moods or whatever you're feeling. It's there and it's accessible to everyone. Like
Yeah.
it's
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like we were saying, like back in the day, you probably get made fun of for watching anime, but now I think the bigger aspect of it is the how accessible it is to people. Before, be like you said, a good point with you now, we couldn't, it wasn't as accessible to us. Now we have it at the palm of your hands. You can just pull it up on your phone.
Yeah, true, true. You can watch however many times you want to watch it. But I was thinking to myself, I was like, I still feel like we're outsiders looking in because I mean, obviously, with us growing up and the time that we grew up, we only had access to anime in that time period versus people who are from Japan, who
That's true.
lived probably like a generation before us, have like so when we think about anime, we think about it started for us with like Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Digimon, whatever. But for other people, who are from Japan, their anime probably started with like God, Lupin the
Astro,
Thirds, yeah,
Astro
like
Boy.
Astro Boy, yeah, probably, yeah, Astro Speed Racer,
Oh, that was
um,
my shit, bro. That was my. I didn't even know that was anime.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like growing up, I didn't know that was like I didn't understand.
Speed Racer, yeah.
You know,
But so they probably have like all these other anime that they could probably think of. Not to mention like all the manga they've probably been exposed to from the time that they were children all the way to adulthood. There's more printed manga in Japan than there is toilet paper.
I didn't know that.
That's
That's
crazy to think
crazy.
of.
That's
Because
a crazy stat, bro.
think about if that were true, there's toilet paper in every building you go to. Multiple
Hmm.
slabs and
I,
toilet paper.
I
There
would hope
isn't.
so.
There isn't. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. There isn't books everywhere. There's no, especially books with animated characters.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
And then
people.
Japan, that's a different culture though. Like I can see that over there. I can I over like somewhere like here. I mean that's crazy to us, but like somewhere where it like the heart of it and where it's created at. Yeah, I can see that. But
It's just
no, I was gonna say this is the last point I got on it for my notes. As far as like fan engagement with the more modern anime is the active participation of international fan communities through online forums, social media, and fan conventions have fostered a closer connection between creators and audiences. This engagement has influenced the types of stories told, with creators often responding to fans' interest and feedback to their work. But think about that. That's crazy. That's why we are getting better stories. That's why we're getting more relatable stories. That's why animes become so popular. Like the the creators are hearing our fan feedback. We go to Comic Con, we can meet some of these people. You know what I mean? Like, and
it's a
we can
true
talk to them.
community.
And they, let's just say, a true community. They're on these forums. The creators of these animes are on these forums. If when we're writing our anime, you don't think we're looking on different, getting influenced by what people like, oh, I love this about this anime, but I didn't like this part. But if I could take these two, I'll take the best part from this one, best part from that one, and make my story out of it. Like we do that, and we can get our feedback right away. Back then, there was no way to talk to the creators of this stuff. There was no way
No,
unless you send them fan mail. Like, but do they really read that shit?
probably not. They're like, man, what is this? Yeah, I mean, I could see your point. Like back then, it was such a slow process. I mean, even think about this. Even the process for us getting anime here in the U.S., there were only certain studios that were able to do the dubbing, so they had to wait till they got the content from Japan, bring it
Mm-hmm.
here to the U.S., get the voice actors in order to actually do the dubbing. That would probably take like weeks and weeks, and we would be waiting, on pins and needles for the next episode. But basically, it's like the process because of the technology, but now technology is what it is, right now. But I couldn't imagine how much work that would have taken back in the day just to get one episode done. And then there's some stuff that, to make it viewable for children, you had to edit out and things like
Mm-hmm.
that because there's certain things in Japan that's not considered taboo that is considered here. But
Like
I
blood.
yeah, blood and certain profanity and nudity. But actually, yeah, nudity. Well, shoot, I guess that's a different thing though. But
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine like they probably weren't getting paid a lot back in those days either.
Oh no. Because
Because it
like
was
for
like
what? It wasn't as popular.
it wasn't as popular in the studios. They really didn't have a lot of like resources to rely on.
Mm-hmm.
You had to literally go to the studio to record your voice, and now you could do that stuff from home.
Mm-hmm. And I like watching videos behind the scenes of how oh sorry. Whew. Tired. How many like I watched the Death Note behind the scenes, like them in the studio recording their lines, and it's like, dude, that wasn't even that long ago. But now today, like you said, they could record from home and send their stuff in.
Nope. So they
That's
did during the pandemic.
crazy. That's yeah, bro. We've come a long way. Like I said, I'm a sucker for the '90s and early 2000s anime, but I cannot disagree that the more modern anime uh, have just improved on every flaw that came from the '90s anime, such as animation, script, storytelling, storylines, plot devices. We're not getting a lot of filler today. Like
Nope.
it's improved on it, and it's like we said earlier, they are taking the fan feedback and it's making it better. So anime is one of those things you can see it's getting better over time. Is that we don't see that a lot for a lot of different things. Like you don't like it's getting better over time because of the feedback, because of like people realizing what they could do, how they can make it better.
It's an
It's just yeah,
evolution.
yep,
Yeah, like
yep, evolution, yep,
to me, I just feel like back in the day it was just season after season, but now it's like we get a season in 1 year, and then we get time to like reflect on that season. We get time to think about it because now
yep,
like shows like back in the day like One Piece or Naruto or Dragon Ball Z, it was just episode after episode after episode after episode. So we get bombarded with all these episodes with the filler and this the continuation of the story versus like they put out 25 episodes. That's one season. Then we get a whole another year to just reset and anticipate and kind of like get ready to prepare to watch another season. That way we can kind of give us some time to think about and reflect on what we had just watched instead of episode after episode. And because the thing is, when you watch an anime that just episode, it feels like it all blends together. So you just I
mm-hmm,
don't know, you really don't get to understand it for what it is versus all right, I get to watch 25 episodes, take a year off, watch another 20
yep,
episodes. So it feels like there's some separation in between the seasons when they try to
mm-hmm,
introduce different characters, different plot devices, different things like that, different storylines. It feels like there's a good separation. Like honestly, when I think about Dragon Ball Z, I I I kind of I kind of lose the separation between the Namekian saga, or not the Namekian saga, and like when the Saiyan saga. Like I kind of like lose that separation because it just feels like it's one after another. Like it's just okay. Here's the Saiyan saga. Now we get the Namekian saga, and then now you get to fight Frieza. Like just one after another so fast.
yeah. And there isn't a lot of separation between those sagas, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
agree with everything you said, bro. I agree with everything you said, man. It's and I'm excited for the future. Like like anime is something I don't even think we've really hit the peak yet. I think anime is still on a going on a up trajectory. Just because it's like you can't even say, even though there's so many anime, you can't even say it's oversaturated or overwhelming just because if you have your niche anime, you don't have to watch the popular stuff. Yeah,
you
people
really,
like
yeah,
the popular stuff is the popular stuff, but if you have your niche or niche or what you prefer, you could just stick to that. Like so that's why I don't feel like the market is oversaturated. It's such a like, but you got things like the comic book movies, and like, I feel like that market is oversaturated because it's the lack of evolution. Like anime is something for everybody, and it is still evolving. 5 years from now, we're going to be having new conversations like it was another evolution of anime.
yeah. To me, there's like different tiers and different genres and sects of anime. Like I like to
Mm-hmm.
like what we started out on as kids. I like to call it like the battle type anime, like your Yu-Gi-Ohs, your Pokemons, your Digimons, Beyblades, well, animes like that. And then we kind of like evolved from that we went to like the Dragon Ball Z's, the Naruto's, the Bleaches, and then we
Mm-hmm.
go a little bit past that. We get a Death Notes, Full Metal Alchemists. I don't know, My Hero Academia, things like that.
Yeah.
It's just as we get older, we kind of gravitate towards different types of anime. But yeah, man, and that's another thing too. I feel like a lot of these movie studios they pull from anime because I'm
Oh,
just
absolutely, dude.
yeah,
Yes, no doubt in my mind. Yes, they do.
yeah. But
They
I'm
straight up
just like,
steal the stories, bro. It's a real thing.
yeah,
Like they take this exact story and just change the character names. It's one with Scarlett Johansson. It's literally an anime. I think is it Lucy? It might be. I
yeah,
don't know,
Lucy. I don't know what anime that would have been. I don't know.
but it's yeah. Hollywood is looking at this stuff because they get it. They understand why should I have to recreate? Why should I have to come up with an idea when I could just steal this story?
Yeah,
Yeah, man. I'm just excited for the future, bro. I see like anime going. It's going to keep going. The evolution of storytelling. 90s to 2000s to the 2010s to the current. Like you can see if I would advise somebody if it knew the anime, I would tell them, I would give them an anime from each decade to go watch. Like this is one from the 90s. This is your 2000s. This is your 2010s, and this is the one you should watch currently. Like,
which
and you'll
decade has
you said you
which
said what?
decade has the best characters?
The current. I mean, 2010s to current, they got the best characters. Unfortunately, like I said, I love Yusuke, Goku, um, Gohan. I'm a Gohan fan, but I just throwing his name out there. The Vegetas of the world, the Light Yagami, L, um, damn, his name not Naruto. Old boy from Bleach. His name just slipped out my head. I
Ichigo.
like it. Ichigo, Gon, like I like all these characters, but the 2010s to the current, it just got more. Their characters are more relatable, more down to earth. You know,
I
I think
got you.
that yeah. Which one do
Because
you think? Which decade do you think got the best characters?
well, no, I was just gonna continue what you were saying because I feel like the
No.
characters from back in those days they were immature and dumb, but now you get main characters that are like smarter, the more calculated. They're the more technical. They actually think things through. You don't have to explain the plan to them multiple times. Like they're the ones that come. Actually, they're the ones that come up with the. They're the ones that come up with the thinking.
Hmm.
Um, man, but some of my favorite characters are like the dude or Doctor Tenma. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
his name. Doctor Tenma from Monster.
Yep.
That guy.
Oh,
Ah
yeah.
man,
Oh God, yeah. Oh
that guy.
God,
He
that's
because
and a
you can.
villain.
Oh, you said
No,
villain.
no, no, I would say and a villain in that he is pure freaking evil, bro. He's
Yeah.
pure. He's pure evil. Should have killed him. You should have killed him.
The
You should have
det-
helped the. You should have helped the guy, the other guy, the
the,
mayor,
the, the,
whatever he was.
the detective in that show too is he he's the dude who's like always calculating, like he's pretending to do his typing thing or whatever to calculate.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
guy, like he's an interesting person as well. Like I for some reason I just find him super interesting because he's just so like calculated. Like he's just so like he just gets the information to do what he needs to do. He's not like emotional. It's just let me get this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just get cut to the chase.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Anime is going to continue to grow, and I'm here for it, man. And then, like I said, we go be out in the streets with the people, um, bringing these conversations to the streets. But I'm just excited, um, for the future, man. My kids, my daughter already, dude. Every time an anime theme song, like she gets up and she dances to it. Like my kids are gonna be watching this stuff, so I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see what's next and what the next phase is. Like we got the current big dogs like the My Heroes, the Attack on Titans, Demon Slayer. You know, eventually all that stuff's gonna come to an end. What's next? You know, what's coming next? What's gonna be the new big thing? So
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting because Attack on Titan is already done. My Hero Academia is ending this year. Yeah, man, who's gonna step up? Who's gonna be next up? You know,
mhm.
that's the
Who's
main
going to be the
question.
face of? Ooh, that could be a topic for another day. Who is the face of anime each decade? That's a topic for another, or it could be
And,
more than one. Who are the faces? Like when you think of the '90s, what characters do you think of? When you think of the 2000s, what characters do you think of? Same thing for the 2010s and the current. What characters do you think of each decade? Like you could take three who you could believe are the face of anime for that decade. But that could be a topic for another day.